I'm Fox 26 meteorologist Ramisha Shade. It's that time of the day again, time to see what's up, what's happening out there in the tropics. So far, no named storms for you today for me to announce, but we do have a couple of systems that could turn into some named storms. So let's go ahead and talk about what's going on. Of course, we are getting closer and closer to the end of October and to the final month of hurricane season. Of course, the final month would be November, but we've got to get through all of November before we can finally say goodbye to this year's hurricane season. So I am monitoring not one, but a couple of potential systems out here. We've got one that's actually a tropical wave now. This one is located to the north of Puerto Rico, and it is drifting to the north. It's where you see the X here. So this system, not very well organized right now, but it does have kind of a ragged center of circulation and area of low pressure, not well defined just yet, but that could happen as it drifts to the north over the next couple of days. So we're giving this system about a 40% chance for development into a tropical cyclone over the next 48 hours and about a 50% chance for tropical cyclone formation. That means maybe a potential tropical depression, tropical storm, or hurricane over the next 5 days. Now, this is tracking to the north, as I mentioned. As it gets stronger, it could pose a threat to Bermuda. I think by the weekend, it's going to be fairly close to Bermuda, so it could pose a threat there. Some heavy rain, maybe a flood threat, some gusty wind. We'll have to see how it organizes and just how strong it gets. Now, this one farther to the south is not really much there because there is not really a system at this point, but our models continue to indicate that we could have some showers and storms try to organize into a center of circulation, an area of low pressure, and this would be north of South America, north of Caracas, Venezuela likely, and this is called a potential disturbance or a potential tropical wave. So this one we're monitoring. It hasn't really done much of anything just yet, but our models are indicating that we could have some showers and storms develop and form a tropical system, maybe a tropical wave, potentially a tropical depression or tropical storm over the next couple of days. So at this point, we're not thinking this is going to happen over the next 24 to 48 hours, but it could start to get its act together as we go into the next 3, 4, 5 days. And the movement would likely be off to the west-northwest. So this one is a little more interesting for us because it would potentially track through the Caribbean Sea, and it could possibly make a turn to the north and head closer to the Gulf, although there would be a higher likelihood that it would go right into portions of Central America or maybe parts of Mexico, but it's still several days out. So this is one that we will monitor and watch closely to see if we do get any development, but at least we do know that we actually do have a tropical wave to the north of Puerto Rico, but this one has yet to develop, but it is something that we are monitoring closely, and of course we will keep you updated if we do start to get anything. Other than that, we are pretty quiet out there. No tropical cyclone activity expected for the eastern Pacific for the next couple of days, so that's good news, but we do have that potential tropical wave that I showed you that could develop north of South America, and that is the one that would push into the Caribbean. And notice the temps, the sea surface temps in the Caribbean. We've got temperatures in the low 80s. Those buoys are showing some warm and steamy waters out there. The water is warm, it is deep, and definitely it will help to fuel any potential tropical system that might develop and roll through the Caribbean. So that's why we're thinking there's still a chance, there's still a shot that that system could actually develop and cause some problems for some of the Caribbean islands and maybe eventually portions of Central America and also Mexico. So we'll watch it closely. Not really seeing anything that's going to threaten the Gulf anytime soon. Sea surface temperatures in the Gulf are starting to cool off a little bit, down to the low to middle 70s for the northern and western portions of the Gulf. Eastern Gulf, temp right around 80 degrees. So we've still got a little warmth there, but overall things are starting to cool off just a little bit. All right, next name on the list for the Atlantic Basin for this hurricane season would be Lisa, then Martin, then Nicole. I don't think either one of those systems that I talked about are anywhere close to becoming a named storm, but of course we'll watch it closely for you. That could happen over the next 2 to 5 days. And of course, if it does, you will be the first to know. Also, in the eastern Pacific, it's extremely quiet. We're not expecting any tropical cyclone formation, but if we were to get something over the next several days, the next name on the list for any Pacific storm, eastern Pacific storm, would be Seymour, and then Tina, Virgil, and then Winifred. So things are kind of starting to simmer down, calm down, but we've definitely had enough for this season. Of course, we've had a couple of catastrophic hurricanes to develop, so it is nice to get a break, but we will continue to closely monitor that tropical wave and that potential tropical cyclone that is likely to develop north of South America. Tropical climatology will show you that we are moving farther and farther away from the peak of hurricane season, which was right around September 10th, September 11th. We're getting close to the end of October, so the risk of us getting hit by a major tropical storm, hurricane, definitely starting to decrease. So that is some good news. In fact, once we get into November, the chance very low that we would have any type of direct impact from a tropical system. But of course, we've been getting these cold fronts coming through, and we can also have maybe one or two cells develop in the Caribbean, one or two systems out there. So that's something that we will monitor closely. And of course, if anything changes with the forecast or if we get any new systems, we're going to have it for you on our daily tropical update that you can get right here on our Fox 26 YouTube page. So as you go about your day and your night, there's so much to do, a lot of exciting events in town this weekend. Of course, we've got the World Series in just a couple of days kicking off, and the weather may cause some issues. We've got a couple of systems that will be rolling through over the next week. So just make sure to have the Fox 26 weather app downloaded on your phone or tablet. It's certainly a great tool to have when you have these big rounds of rain, big flood threats, severe storms coming through, tropical threats. You can find it all on the Fox 26 weather app. So make sure you have that downloaded on your phone or tablet. You can also find my social media pages here at Ramisha Shade TV, Twitter at Ramisha Shade Weather on Facebook, and at Ramisha Shade on Instagram. Have a great rest of the day. Stay safe out there, and hopefully the tropics will remain on the quiet side.